we know Angel Reese has definitely been in the headlines, man, after erupting in the press conference, pretty much swearing at reporters. And I'm here to tell you today is another day of the Angel Reese drama because she has simply smacked the clipboard out of an assistant coach's hands. Yes, now all of this went down during the Washington missed this game. This happened on national television.
The Chicago Sky finds itself in yet another controversy, but this time it's not about what happened on the court, it's about what happened on the sideline. Angel Reese, the self-proclaimed role model and newly minted NBA 2K26 cover athlete, just reminded everyone why being talented at basketball doesn't automatically make you a leader. And now, first-year head coach Tyler Marsh has a decision to make that could define his entire tenure with the Chicago Sky.
The referees blew every whistle. Like, I'm not joking. There was one play where Angel Reese dribbled backward. She backed into Aaliyah Edwards and tripped over her own feet and got free throws. The free throws that led to this happening were unbelievably soft. That led to Angel Reese breaking a coach's clipboard, walking over and slapping a coach's clipboard. And by the way, if this was Caitlin Clark, you just know they'd be calling out her anger problems.
On July 8th, 2025, during a heartbreaking 81-79 loss to the Washington Mystics, Angel Reese did something that would make even the most patient coach question their life choices. With 29.9 seconds left on the clock and the game tied at 77-77, Reese walked off the court and slapped a clipboard right out of the hands of Ann Crosby, the team's vice president of basketball operations and strength and conditioning.
A lot of people are picking up on is when she is walking over to the bench and she slaps the clipboard out of her coach's hand. And you guys, my honest reaction to this when I first saw it, I was just laughing. It's kind of like the reaction that you're seeing from me right here. I wouldn't look into this too hard. I know it's already become controversial because they're like, oh, if another player did this, there would be think pieces written about it. And it's like,
this wasn't a gentle brush off. This wasn't an accidental bump. This was a deliberate, disrespectful act caught on national television for everyone to see. The woman who just hours earlier had been announced as the cover athlete for NBA 2K26, supposedly representing the pinnacle of professionalism in women's basketball, couldn't control her emotions for 30 seconds.
Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Barbie? The emotional decline continues for Angel Reese. The temper tantrums, the complete loss of emotional control continues for the Bayou Barbie, as well as the Chi-Town Barbie and Double-Double Barbie, and whatever other alias that Angel Reese has decided to give herself.
But here's the thing that makes this even more troubling. This isn't an isolated incident. This is part of a pattern that's been building throughout the season. Angel Reese has been on a months-long campaign of throwing shade, creating controversy, and making everything about herself instead of the team.
It was wild, all right? It was wild. I mean, tempers were flying. This was an all-out rivalry, man, all right? I mean, even Angel Reese was pissed at this moment. Look at this, pissed. All right, pissed. This was close to the end of the game, 29 seconds left, game tied, game on the line, and I think she was called for a foul.
Remember the ongoing social media warfare against Caitlin Clark? Remember the constant complaints about officiating? Remember the victim narrative that she's been pushing all season long? This clipboard incident is just the latest chapter in what's becoming the Angel Reese show. And it's not the kind of show that championship teams put on. Those were pissing me off, Reese wrote on social media after the incident, showing no real remorse for her actions. She claimed it was the heat of the moment and that it wouldn't happen again, but actions speak louder than social media damage control. If you are enjoying, please subscribe. Now let's talk about Tyler Marsh, because this man is in an impossible position. He's a first-year head coach who came to Chicago with an impressive resume. He's won championships at every level, D-League, NBA, and WNBA. He learned from the best coaches in the business, Nick Nurse, Rick Carlisle, and Becky Hammon. He's known for his integrity, his player development skills, and his ability to build championship cultures, but all of that means nothing if he can't control his locker room. And right now, watching Angel Reese slap clipboards out of coaches' hands with zero immediate consequences, it's starting to look like the inmates are running the asylum.
Angel always talks about being willing to do whatever dirty work is necessary. Did you see that today? Did you see a performance that, in terms of the timeliness and the types of plays that she made, it went beyond the stat sheet?
Yeah, I think that's who Angel is, in the best way. I think that that's what her skill set allows her to be. That we shouldn't just look at her as a rebounder or just as a scorer. There's so many different things that she can do on a court that helps a team win. And even though shots weren't falling for her tonight, she had 5 assists. She had huge rebounds down the stretch. And that's the kind of versatility that we see in her. And she's embraced it so far.
Marsh was hired specifically because of his track record of building cultures rooted in trust and accountability. General Manager Jeff Palioka praised his commitment to developing each player's unique strengths, along with his basketball acumen and calm, composed leadership style. But calm and composed leadership means nothing if it doesn't translate into actual discipline when needed. This is Tyler Marsh's first real leadership test as a head coach. Not drawing up plays, not managing rotations, not developing talent. Those are the easy parts of coaching. The hard part is what happens when your star player, your supposed leader, acts like a spoiled child on national television.
So Angel Reese, the most toxic player in all of basketball, is out here slapping clipboards out of her coaching staff's hand because she's so mad her team committed a foul in the crunch after she shot 15 free throws this game. This is the lowest of the low disrespect that you can show to your coaching staff. She's trying to get y'all locked in, worried about the next play, and you so toxic with your terrible, awful attitude that you slap the clipboard out of her hand.
What happened after that clipboard hit the floor? Did Marsh call an immediate timeout? Did he pull Reese aside? Did he bench her for the rest of the game? According to reports, the answer is no. The game continued, and Reese finished with 22 points and 15 rebounds. Impressive numbers that unfortunately got overshadowed by her complete lack of professionalism. This silence is particularly damning when you consider Marsh's previous statements about the team. He's repeatedly talked about building a championship culture, about accountability, about creating an environment where players can reach their full potential. But championship cultures aren't built by talented players, they're built by disciplined players.
Guys, Angel Reese had a great game. She had 22 points, 15 rebounds. There were some questionable calls from the referees on both ends of the floor during this game against the Washington Mystics, and they ended up losing by 2 points at the end of the game. And so she's a competitor. Love or hate Angel Reese, she's a competitor. She's a fierce competitor. And I feel like this was just a moment where her frustrations got the best of her. Hopefully, later on, I'm sure she'll probably see this on social media and she'll go up to her coach and be like, my bad, coach. That was not cool of me. I shouldn't have slapped the clipboard.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Angel Reese loves to talk about being a role model. She loves to talk about representation. She loves to talk about showing young girls that they can be confident and bold and take up space unapologetically. But what kind of message is she sending when she takes out her frustration on a coaching staff member? If this were any other player, if this were a bench player or a rookie, they would have been benched, fined, or suspended. But because it's Angel Reese, because she's the face of the franchise, because she's the one bringing in the double-doubles and the headlines, different rules seem to apply. The Chicago Sky currently sit at 6-13 in 12th place in the Eastern Conference. They're not just losing games, they're losing their identity. When your star player is more concerned about her social media presence than her team's success, when she's slapping clipboards out of coaches' hands because she's frustrated with referees, you don't have a basketball team, you have a reality show.
Why do you guys hate Angel Reese so much? The Angel Reese hate is so forced. This is why we hate the Brick Lane Sloth. She has a terrible attitude, awful, toxic. This is why she has no friend. This is why the world hates her.
And let's not forget about the WNBA's role in all of this. This is the same league that's been investigating imaginary claims while ignoring real behavioral issues. This is the same league that's been more concerned about protecting certain players' feelings than maintaining professional standards. The WNBA has rules about player conduct. They have standards about how players should interact with coaches and staff. But when it comes to Angel Reese, those rules seem to be more like suggestions. The league has been silent about this incident, just like they've been silent about most of her other controversial behavior this season. Tyler Marsh came to Chicago with a promise to build a championship culture. He's talked about accountability, about professionalism, about creating an environment where players can reach their full potential. But championship cultures aren't built by talented players. They're built by disciplined players. You can't have a championship culture when your star player is more concerned about her social media presence than her team's success. You can't have a championship culture when players think they can disrespect coaches without consequences. You can't have a championship culture when the head coach is afraid to hold his best players accountable. Marsh's track record speaks for itself. He was part of championship teams with the Toronto Raptors, the Las Vegas Aces, and multiple other successful organizations. He knows what championship culture looks like. The question is whether he has the courage to implement it in Chicago.
Clip. Angel Reese said that she was done being polite. She was done being humble. I'm done being silent. The Bayou Barbie is mad, mad, mad. And Barbie is about to start clapping back at the haters. To her credit, Angel Reese said what she meant and meant what she said.
Angel Reese loves to talk about being a role model. She was just featured on the cover of NBA 2K26. She has signature shoes. She has endorsement deals. She has a platform that millions of young girls look up to. But with that platform comes responsibility. What message is she sending to those young girls when she slaps clipboards out of coaches' hands? What lesson is she teaching about how to handle frustration and adversity? What example is she setting about how to interact with authority figures? The answer is simple. She's teaching them that if you're talented enough, if you're popular enough, if you're important enough, you can act however you want without consequences. That's not leadership. That's the opposite of leadership.
So you just gonna embarrass this woman trying to show you a play, and you just gonna slap the clipboard out of her hand like that on national TV? What a role model. Please stop embarrassing us.
This is Tyler Marsh's moment of truth. This is where he proves whether he's the championship caliber coach that Chicago thought they were hiring, or whether he's just another coach who's afraid to hold his star players accountable. The easy thing to do is nothing. Let it slide. Hope it doesn't happen again. Focus on the positive, the 22 points and 15 rebounds, the historic rebounding streak, the all-star selections. But easy doesn't win championships. The hard thing to do is what championship coaches do: hold everyone accountable regardless of their talent level or their popularity. Set standards and enforce them. Build a culture where respect isn't optional, it's mandatory. Because here's the truth that Tyler Marsh needs to understand. Angel Reese isn't testing the clipboard, she's testing him. She's testing to see if he's going to be the kind of coach who demands excellence from everyone, or if he's going to be the kind of coach who has different rules for different players. Every player on that roster is watching. Every coach on that staff is watching. Every fan in that arena is watching. The question isn't whether Angel Reese can rebound or score or make highlight reels. The question is whether Tyler Marsh can coach.
Something with the Chicago Sky team, like they are not doing well this season. I think that is evident. It doesn't look like they are going to make playoffs. And this was just a moment of frustration at the end of the game. It is funny though when you play the clip over and over. This was a warranted crash out. Like we can give Angel Reese a pass.
Championship coaches don't let star players disrespect their staff. Championship coaches don't ignore behavioral issues because they're afraid of controversy. Championship coaches understand that talent without character is just potential without purpose. Phil Jackson didn't let Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant disrespect coaches. Pat Riley didn't let LeBron James or Dwayne Wade act unprofessionally. Becky Hammon didn't let Asia Wilson or any of her stars get away with behavior that hurt the team culture. Those coaches won championships not just because they had talented players, but because they created environments where talent could flourish within a framework of accountability and respect. Tyler Marsh's credibility as a coach is on the line. If he continues to let Angel Reese's behavior slide, he's sending a message to every player on that roster that the rules don't apply to everyone equally. He's telling them that talent trumps character, that popularity trumps professionalism, that social media followers matter more than team chemistry. That's not a championship culture, that's a recipe for disaster. And right now, with the Sky sitting at 6-13 and looking more like a soap opera than a basketball team, disaster is exactly what they're heading toward.
But like, Shakira Austin at 13 free throws, Angel Reese at 15. Angel at 15 free throws. Last couple of possessions to go, Kiki Riafen is standing with her hands up. Angel Reese just flings herself backwards into Kiki Riafen. Down 2 to draw the foul.
The solution isn't complicated, but it requires courage. Tyler Marsh needs to remember why he was hired. He wasn't hired to be Angel Reese's friend. He wasn't hired to manage her social media campaigns. He wasn't hired to enable her drama. He was hired to build a championship culture, and that starts with holding everyone accountable, especially the star players. The Chicago Sky organization needs to decide what they want to be. Do they want to be a professional basketball organization that demands excellence both on and off the court? Or do they want to be a reality TV show that happens to involve basketball? Because right now, they're looking more like the latter. Tyler Marsh came to Chicago with a promise to build something special. He brought championship experience, coaching wisdom, and a track record of success. But all of that means nothing if he can't control his locker room.
Now, guys, I'm not one to blow up negativity, but Angel Reese supposed to be leading young women and being a great example to girls and kids all over the world. Well, I'm here to tell you, she was not leading by example.
Angel Reese slapping that clipboard out of Ann Crosby's hands wasn't just a moment of frustration, it was a test of Tyler Marsh's leadership, a test of the Chicago Sky's standards, and a test of the WNBA's professionalism. So far, everyone involved is failing that test. The question now is whether Tyler Marsh has the courage to do what championship coaches do: hold everyone accountable, demand excellence from everyone, and build a culture where respect isn't optional. Because if he doesn't, the Chicago Sky will continue to be exactly what they are right now: a talented team with no discipline, a star player with no leadership, and a coach with no control. And that's not a championship formula. That's a recipe for more of the same disappointing seasons that Sky fans have been enduring.